This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian.
Mission 250.
All right, so yeah, we're the Mission 250 Filmcast. We watch the best movies ever made. Every other episode, we do a bonus episode. This was a John Stricker special here. A suggestion. I have no idea how you even heard of this movie.
Yeah, me either.
I just saw it. I think there was like a Variety article or something that mentioned it, just like it was in the headlines, sort of, that it was a great summer comedy.
Nice.
And that's about it. I had no idea if it would be any good or not. So it's not like it was well researched on my part.
Well, okay. Well, we'll see if it was worth it or not. So we're watching the 2020 movie Mandibles. It's a French film by Quentin Dupieux. I believe I'm saying that right, but I'm totally guessing.
Better than I would do.
The synopsis is, when simple-minded friends Jean, Gab, and Manu find a giant fly trapped in the boot of a car, they decide to train it in hope of making a ton of cash. And John, it's your turn. And was it worth it? Was it a good pick?
I thought it was really short. It's ridiculously short. It's probably the shortest film that we have seen. I don't know if there's been a shorter one. So 70 minutes long. Didn't feel like it was too short. Felt about right in terms of its length.
I wanted it to keep going. When the ending happened, I was like, no, I thought it was just like getting going.
I thought they were going to jump into the next thing, like actually steal some shit.
Yeah.
Well, I knew it was really short. So I liked it. I thought it was pretty funny. I sort of liked the characters. I wanted it to be a little more lighthearted even than it was. So like there's like some casual violence that like the main guy does that's just like, oh, that's not nice. I wanted
that's when I started liking it. Is it when he headbutts that guy?
Yeah.
That's what I was like,
that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah. And again, it's just like they're just stupid and not thinking, but I don't know. And this is a question for you guys to think about. I don't know, like what is your favorite movies, if you've got a number of movies about stupid people? Because that's when this one really is just sort of, these guys are really dumb. I like how they keep showing how he does the main character, Manu, does these things that he regrets, and he doesn't even know how to deal with it. Even like he's just like puzzled, and he's like, I'm feeling really bad about this. I just did another really stupid thing, and I really
fucked up again. Yeah,
I liked how the movie just sort of showed it. He was just like, he was kind of upset with himself too, but he like burns the whole trailer down. He's like, I had ribs, and the other guy's like, you burned the trailer down. He's like, yeah,
but I lost. What a waste of food.
And I lost the ribs. Yeah. I'm feeling bad about it. Or he lets the guy just walk out of the car because that was and the guy that he had butted like runs. His whole plan was to run away from him, and he's just running away. And
he drops the gun and he goes, "Hey, where is that thing?"
Yeah. and then he like gets back and get his friends like, you let him go, and he's like, yeah, I feel bad about it. just his like. I thought that was well done. His puzzlement is just sort of like just showing how dumb he was, and yet he was just sort of, he did feel bad, and he almost was like almost sympathetic too. Like I thought like
he was too stupid, and no one was like smart around him. His friend is an idiot too,
right?
Like it couldn't help him out there.
And like even in they're eating at the table and they're talking about manners, and he says, "Nobody has ever taught me manners."
Yeah, I like that part. Yeah, like he was very seriously interested in hearing what manners were.
Exactly, I thought that was
chick that screamed got on my nerves.
Oh yeah,
really?
That was like a
hilarious
Brothers thing, right? Yeah.
How? I mean, it was funny, but as it kept going, I was just like,
it's pretty loud. Yeah. So there's a girl in there who's brain injured and can only yell.
Fucking hilarious. I felt so bad the first like 2 minutes of laughing at her, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna laugh.
Yeah.
It was just, again,
I just like how they all lost patience with her.
Yeah.
Just like we did, the audience,
And then the movie ships her away to a mental institution.
To a mental institution.
But she gets better, and she's like, but
they gave her some Ativan, and she finally calmed down.
Yeah. It was really, I made my wife crack up just by telling her what happened. It's like, so there was a dog in the room, and then the fly ate the dog, and then they saw the girl went in there and screamed, and then they thought the girl ate the dog. It's just everybody's dumb.
Everybody's dumb.
I don't know if we should have said our usual spoilers. Sorry, but this is a fun film. I think it was sort of entertaining to watch. As I said, I wanted it to be maybe more lighthearted. I wanted to like them even more, but maybe that speaks well of the movie.
That's just you, though. I liked it how dark it went. I thought that was some of the funnier parts is how dark it went.
It was dark.
When the guy picks up the dog leash and it's just like the bone in the collar,
like
I was
the
laughing pretty
foot.
damn hard.
Yeah.
And
Again,
then they all
it
just
wasn't
turn and look at her,
graphic.
and you're like, oh, fuck,
Yeah.
I think she ate it.
It wasn't
and it was
graphic,
believable because she's fucked up. You
Yeah.
know?
but- right.
Yeah.
But they're also just really
But they're so stupid.
dumb.
They're all so dumb. Yeah.
Unbelievably so, but it works because it's like so consistent in tone.
Yeah, it is. And he plays the characters. He plays it well. I think it's like it's really easy to overdo it or something. But
He's
he
like
plays
Ted
the
or something
cuzzled.
from Bill and Ted, right? He's like, whoa.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is a
Whoa.
lot like Wayne's World and Bill and Ted.
Right.
Yeah, or
Right,
like
right.
Big
Yeah.
Lebowski or like
A
Beavis
little
and
Big
Butthead or
Lebowski,
something
yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
stole from all those movies for sure.
Yeah, it has that feeling of, but they play it well. Like it's pitched really well. I think, like, because it could have been.
Well, I think
easy
if
to
it wasn't
make them seem
French,
too
it wouldn't
stupid.
have been as good.
Maybe it would have been
Because
harder.
like if it was Americans, it'd be like, yeah, we saw this already. But since it was
Right,
French,
I see.
it had
yeah.
like its own tone, you know, and they had their own
Yeah,
like.
I mean,
way.
this might sound insensitive, but the way they said things, especially the main character and the girl that yelled, that just by
Yeah.
itself was funny. The way it
when
sounded.
he would say like, oui, 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 oui.
Well, yeah,
oui.
just the way he would like slur his
Wait,
words. Like he's
Yeah,
like, "What
right,
just
yeah.
happened?" He's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of
Yeah.
grunting.
yeah.
There was a
Yeah.
lot of grunting.
So I thought it was worth watching. It was enjoyable. It was really odd. I think The Fly was well done. I thought they did a good job of having that be a character. And
What do you get? You find a fly that's huge. What do you buy? You buy a cat food and sleeping pills. That makes sense.
And it
Oh
works.
my
That's
God.
the
It
worst
worked. I
part.
was like, holy shit,
It
they're going to get a
worked.
lot of use out of these
that's
sleeping
what was
pills.
really funny was how stupid their idea was, and that I thought that was that was a
Actually
great note for the movie to end on. Was that because it seemed like it's just completely stupid. You know that it's never going to work from the beginning, and the movie just lets it work just for fun.
And
know.
it came back. The fucking
yeah.
thing
With
flew
a bunch
back.
of bananas.
But because even when it flew up, that was just so funny. We're like, huh. That's a fly, isn't it? Yeah, it's a fly.
And like they had total reasonable conversation about how it's not coming back.
right.
And he wasn't
It was like-
upset. He was
They
just like,
gave
yeah,
up-
you're right. It's a
they
fly.
gave up so
like, Why would
quickly.
it come back?
It was 2 seconds, and then they're like, well, it's not coming back. You're like, what the
They're
hell?
used to failure. They're used to failure. That's the other part of it. It's like, oh yeah, this again. We're used to this. I mean, it's like that was kind of his approach, seeming his like approach too. I was like, I messed up again. I feel really bad about it. Don't rub it in, sort of thing. Where I thought it was good. I mean, again, it's not some masterpiece, but it was to me original enough and interesting enough that it was worth watching. That's all I got though. I don't got. I didn't read any books or anything.
What do you think,
here.
TC?
I mean, there was.
John pretty much wrapped it up. I mean, there's some good little like the Toro thing, which we didn't really discuss, but that's their like little handshake / whatever /
And the dinner conversation where they're
reading.
trying to explain it to the
Explain it, yeah.
interested.
That was the only time they were smarter than the people they were talking to.
Right,
She's
right.
like,
Yeah,
what does
like,
it even
doesn't
mean?
it
She's
look
like,
like
what
a-
are you talking
like
about?
a-
What does it mean?
Toro?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like, doesn't it look like? Oh, and he's like, oh, got it. Yeah, they were so stupid. The rest of them.
Yep.
And like
For those
there were
listening, it's
some
like
good
what is
parts-
this? Like a metal?
Like a bull.
Is this? It's
Like
a
a bull.
bull? Whatever it
No,
is.
it's just the
Yeah,
bull. This
like
is
a bull horn.
There's the
What's
horns.
metal?
Come on,
isn't this,
Denny.
Isn't this metal as well?
It can mean many
That's
things,
true.
Denny.
Could be metal. Yeah.
It means I love. Isn't this? I love you is like this one or whatever. Anyway, it can mean many
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. Well, and it did mean many things.
Mm-hmm. It meant,
So
it
they
meant
had a
everything.
couple things like that. That was like reoccurring throughout. That was funny, like him waking up in the sleeping bag in the water, like why, like with no explanation.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, you're in the water. He's like, oh.
Somehow two people found him in a sleeping bag in the waves right at where the low tide was coming up or high tide was coming up, and it doesn't make any sense because they don't discuss like why was he sleeping near the water. What was he doing there?
When you do that,
How did he get there in the first place? Like nobody ever explained it. It was just like, oh yeah,
He's
that's
just,
what you
he's
would
he's
do.
homeless, right? That's his only thing.
Yeah, like you're a bum
Yeah,
and
he's
you
sleeping
would
on the
He's
beach,
too
but he's-
stupid
yeah.
to like sleep where the water
Sleep-
comes up.
Right, to worry about the tide. He doesn't get that part.
He
Dude, I laughed
doesn't
so
get it,
hard
he
when
wakes
like
up
he got kicked out of his bed and it just hard cuts to him face down like next to the pool with one of
Outside.
the
Oh,
little
right, yeah.
pillows on top of
on the
him.
pool. Yeah, where like he
Ridiculous.
can't seem to like sleep on top of something ever, right? Because he just rolls all over the place. They had a lot of those kind of like reoccurring things that were just like little nuggets of comedy that were funny. That even if you weren't paying attention, you'd be like, "Ha, he woke up at the water again,"
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice change of pace from, the last one we watched. Jeez.
Yeah.
Wasn't so sad. I mean, it was sad in a different way. Like, you felt bad for how stupid these people were, but you didn't really. Because you just, got to see them completely destroy everything in their path in, a, not so destructive, personal way.
Right.
But just a stupidity way.
No one's this stupid and also
yeah.
so happy that they're, this stupid.
Right. They're not winning at anything, but you don't feel as bad about it because they're just whatever, it's all good.
I'm starving and have no home. I mean, everything's fine.
Well, they have their friendship, which is sort of nice, I guess.
True.
I mean, they that's kind of sort of a nice touch the way they are friends, the way they are. But yeah.
And then there was that weird little side story where the guy had diamond teeth that he wanted to
Hilarious.
get. What the fuck was that?
Somebody must have been high while writing this movie. Seriously,
it was like a Quentin Tarantino sort of touch there, or whatever. It's just the side.
And I love I didn't even think when we were watching that that they were going to even finish that part of the story.
Right.
In the beginning, I'm just they're never going to make it with the suitcase.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a suitcase; it was a little briefcase. But they weren't going to make it. Right?
I laughed at the size of the briefcase. It was so tiny.
It was because they made it out that you need a trunk.
Yeah,
that's what he kept saying, right? You need a trunk. You have to put it in the trunk.
You can't talk about. You can't look in the case.
You can't talk about. You can't open it. And it was this whole thing. I was like, damn, it's a big briefcase. I wonder what's in it, money or what?
Yeah.
And then you see it, and it's this little tiny little. It was a very good surprise. It really was. And I mean, I didn't expect them to get to that spot, and it was so funny that was the least important part of the movie.
Right.
Was the part that they set you up with.
That's true. Like you think about that's part of their adventure. Or I thought that the suitcase was the fly or whatever when they were setting it all up.
Right.
I was
thought
thinking,
the fly was the thing they were supposed to be delivering.
Yeah,
and
that's what I was
thinking. It had nothing to do with the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these idiots cut open the trunk because they locked it on themselves. I mean,
every time they close it, they have to tape it back up.
It's so stupid.
Who thinks about this stuff?
I was thinking about that
the entire movie.
Is so stupid.
Yeah, I was thinking while watching, I was like, who thinks of this and who thinks that's funny? The tiny briefcase thing. You're it'll be funny because it's tiny, and it was funny.
Yeah. And it was.
But it's so stupid.
I just remember finishing it, though, and I was like, that was the dumbest movie. But it wasn't in the way of, say, Room, where it was that was the dumbest, worst movie. This was, dumb but fun and not really a waste of an hour.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's only 70 minutes. Like you said, it's such an easy watch. Yeah, I liked it.
Nice.
I mean, but I got nothing else other than that. I mean, it wasn't the cinematography was amazing or something.
Right.
So
the puppet was good though. It was way better than what it would be if it was a CG puppet or a CG fly or anything like that.
Did you say it was?
Was that an animatronics or something?
It was a puppet.
It was moving.
Yeah, it was animatronic
it was
puppet mix. They CG'd the legs in a couple of the shots, but that was it. Even then, the puppet was real in those shots.
Wow. It was well done. I mean, you didn't.
It was good.
Yeah.
I agree with both of you guys. In the beginning, I think the first maybe 5 to 10 minutes, I was on the fence just because I had literally no idea what this movie, besides it had a giant fly in it at some point for some reason. I didn't know what tone it was going to take, and I didn't really like it, I think. I think maybe if you're on the fence about watching it, get through the first 10 minutes. I turned when he had his friend. I was like, why the hell is he getting his friend? Why is his friend even going? His friend has a job. What the fuck is this dynamic here? He so quickly went with his friend. I don't get it. But as soon as he headbutted the guy in the trailer, and then his friend immediately was just cheering, and they're like, "Yay, it's our house now!" I was like, "Holy shit, these guys are idiots!" And they're both idiots, and they're just gonna have a dumb little adventure together. And from that point on, I just had a smile on my face, and I just laughed intermittently for specific things, when they were wrestling each other in the pool with the floaty, laughing so hard, and they just they focused on the girl with the ski accident, and there was just the background. You see her getting mad, and I was laughing for a minute straight that entire shot. Yeah, I laughed pretty hard at this. I've recommended it to people. I think a lot of people would like it. It's stupid. It's stupid and funny. And I think maybe just get through the first 10 minutes, and I don't see how you couldn't laugh at
Would you compare it to it doesn't what for some reason I can think of the Farrelly Brothers films or something like that but it doesn't maybe that's not
just
right.
Dumb and Dumber. It's kind of like Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, but it doesn't focus on
that in there.
The stupidity isn't so in your I guess it's in your face, but there's something different about it. I don't know. I mean it's
French. telling you. That's
maybe
what
it just
the
seems
language
more.
barrier.
It seems more
it's the
subdued.
language. It's the language.
Like it is really stupid, but it's like low key. Even when they're doing these like the awful things, the way they're reacting, it's not like I don't know. It's not like bombastic or anything. It's just sort of.
I just think the French makes you sound smart. Even
maybe
if you don't.
that helps. I don't know.
It could have been the longer shots and the lack of music and the lack of like any big set pieces.
Yeah. It wasn't like it wasn't that a spectacle sort of thing, kind of right. Yeah, that's
And
a good point.
it all takes place like in the desert, kind of like it looks nice, but like it's all just in the middle of nowhere, kind of.
Yeah,
true.
I'm just
Right,
yeah.
into
I mean,
that
I
hotel.
agree. It's kind of similar where like Dumb and Dumber, it's these people in Mandibles wouldn't exist. The people in Dumb and Dumber wouldn't exist. They're too
Right.
stupid and like. They wouldn't get
They
away
would've
with
got
what they
arrested.
get away. Right, exactly.
They
They
would've
wouldn't have
got
gotten away
arrested.
with any of
they
this
would
shit.
have been
But the tone is different. Yeah, it's just drier. Maybe
maybe.
I don't
Yeah,
think a kid would like this, right? But a kid would
No,
like Dumb and
probably
Dumber.
No, that's true. It's not like, and it's not like the potty humor and stuff like that so much. It's really, or not necessarily gross out stuff, even though there is fly poop.
Nah, you have
involved.
to be an adult because you have to know how far you would have to go down low as a
Yeah.
person to like live at the level these guys live
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
right?
This is, yeah.
And apparently, there's
This
space
is-
for those types of people in the world. They can just coast
Yeah,
down
right,
there.
right.
And again,
Exactly.
it's like, and they're not without even. Again, I think it's to the film's credit. They're not without sympathy in some ways, at least a little bit. I don't know, just because the way you see they have a friendship, you see them. You see them struggle with failing or making really bad decisions. I think they do that really well, and that's also something that is hard to pull off. I think it's just I really that was what I loved. What I take away from the movie is just the way the actor Manu's actor, the way he expressed sort of the regret when he did stuff, how he managed it, like his
Or he
expressions.
didn't manage it, like
No, he
with the
didn't.
dog. When he's
Right.
like, "Aren't you sad?" He's like, "Huh?" Like
Yeah.
confused by the question, and they're like,
Oh,
and the girl
yeah,
fills
yeah.
the thought in for him. Oh, you must. It hasn't hit you yet. He's like, "Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
It must
hasn't
be a
hit me
shock.
yet. Yeah.
I know that the way he does it.
I laughed
it's
at
it's,
good
it's
on
yeah,
that one.
yeah. It's pretty damn funny.
I also liked it how much they trusted each other. Like they wouldn't even
Yeah.
question what the other. It was like there was one part like he goes find a dog, and he's like find a dog.
Yeah.
He's like yeah, go find
Yes,
a dog.
or
And
we're
he's
gonna
like
get
okay.
kicked out. He's like, "All right, cool."
right.
I'll go
He
get
goes
that.
and finds a dog.
Yeah.
No
We
questions.
don't want to get kicked out.
Yeah.
yeah. It's pretty funny. Yeah. What else you got, Denny?
What else do I got? Yeah, not much. This movie is very. I did want it to keep going. As soon as the fly dropped the banana, like I
Yeah.
for some reason forgot that this was a really really short one, and I was like, oh man, they're gonna like start plotting to rob a bank now. Then the credits roll. I'm like, god damn it.
You
It's
kind of
over.
want to see a part 2 where they sort of become criminal masterminds
Yeah.
with this fly.
They just stumble
It's
through a
so
bank
dumb.
robbery.
It's like we'll just show it. We'll show the fly. The fly will get his money. We'll show it a picture of the bank, and it'll go get his money. It's like, oh my
They
God.
had $500 cash, but his friend talked him out of it because he was going to train a giant fly to do what? Doesn't
No one
matter.
knows.
Doesn't matter.
No one knows.
Train
Get
it.
money. The fly was going to get money. Anyway.
Yeah,
That's about it. I think.
yeah.
Could be a short one. I got some trivia, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
If we didn't spoil it, all the parts that made it worth watching, go
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah, for sure.
So this guy that directed this movie, Quentin Dupieux, he's a musician. I think more famously than a director.
Oh, really?
His name is Mr. Oizo.
Oh yeah, I've heard of him.
Have you?
Have you?
Yeah.
His biggest hit was in a Levi's commercial about 10 years ago. And on Spotify,
Like
at least, it has
electronic
like
music.
15 million
Right.
hits. It's called Flat Beat. Put it on.
Yeah,
We might get
I think
taken
I've
off, so
heard-
I'm not going to put it on. So
Yeah.
we've gone down this path
We're
before.
terrified about putting any copyrighted material on our website, so just go look it up for
Yeah,
yourself.
Flat Beat,
Yeah, yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Oizo, same director. The guy who wrote and directed this movie is a musician / DJ.
Yeah, I
Nice.
think he's been in some skateboard videos.
He's done a
Back
lot of
then.
music videos too. Like he's filmed
Yeah,
music videos for other bands as well.
interesting. That's
His
cool.
first album came out in '99. He's got 6
Damn.
albums, and he DJs too. I don't know if that's different if you make electronic music. I think it's probably the same.
It's
I don't know how that
Pretty
works.
similar. Yeah, I don't either. Damn kids
Yeah.
Freaking
and their
kids.
beats.
But so there's that. The two main characters, the Manu and what's the other guy's name? Gene Gab, I think. We're on this sketch comedy show in France called Palma Show, PALMASHOW, one word. and they were the two main characters, and that's why they were cast together in this movie.
Oh, are they?
Because they already worked together well with that.
Yeah.
Is that style? Is this their style even in that
Dude,
show?
I tried to look it up. It is not everything about it. Like even the Wikipedia page is fully in French. It's never made it over here, so it was very hard to
knows?
find anything.
Okay.
But it looks like it was around from like 2012 to 2013. So it was a little while ago, but the director must have, I assume he probably knew these two guys through working in the industry and then also liked the show, something like that. That's a guess.
Probably.
But, yeah. And the actor who plays the girl with the ski accident injury. Do you guys recognize her?
She looks
No, should
familiar,
we?
but I don't.
She did look familiar.
Did you ever
She was-
see Blue is the Warmest Color?
No.
Does that
No.
movie name ring a bell? It was pretty
It does,
talked about.
but I don't.
It's that movie
think
with like a
I've seen it.
15-minute long lesbian sex scene in it. It's like a 3.5 hour long movie, and it has a very
I've definitely heard of it. Yeah.
it has the
What?
longest friggin' and it's like full frontal, like it's pornography basically. 15 minutes of it
she
in
was
the
in
middle
it?
of this like drama movie. Yeah, she was one of the two actors in that movie. She got a bunch of awards for it.
Okay.
Is that all you got to do these days?
2013, huh?
You never heard of that one?
I don't think so.
It was pretty good. It was very long. What I remember from it.
A movie or the sex scene?
Both.
Well, I don't know why I recognize her. She must look like someone else.
Good. Yeah, I didn't recognize anything else she was in. What else I got? So this movie had a budget of $5 million. It made $2 million. It was delayed because of the pandemic. Thanks, pandemic. So he was planning on making a sequel
yeah.
if it made a certain amount of money, but it didn't. So there's not going to be a sequel,
That's
which
a bummer.
sucks. Yeah.
That is too bad. I would have been. I agree.
It's a rough time to try to
yeah.
come out with a film, too. I
It
mean, what do you
is.
expect? No one's in
Yeah.
the theaters.
The only piece of like information trivia I found was on, it's called The Upcoming. It's a newspaper in the UK. It's theupcoming.co.uk. It's a interview with the director. So people kind of compared this to The Big Lebowski, and he said he's actually, he didn't think of that movie when he was making this movie, but he had another Coen Brothers movie in mind, and it was No Country for Old Men. And it
Oh,
was
interesting.
mostly, he took from that movie the lack of music. So he wanted to do a dry comedy with the same
Oh.
kind of like landscape and no soundtrack as No Country for Old Men.
Okay, I guess I can see that.
Kind of. It's
Yeah.
kind of a stretch, but
Otherwise-
it's
Yeah.
what was,
I
it's,
mean,
it was in his
Whatever
head.
your
so-
inspiration is.
yeah, right. I mean, I certainly thought of Big Lebowski and did not think at all of No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, but you didn't
Right.
think Coen Brothers.
Yes.
So-
Yes, definitely. That's true.
So it did
But
work.
mostly just because I felt like there was some resemblance between Manu and the Big Lebowski.
The dude, yeah,
And
for sure.
part of it was his just build and his haircut, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it just sort of
Yeah.
matched.
Yeah, for sure. And his stumbling through like a mystery, not a mystery, but
Right.
like stumbling through situations type of thing.
Right. Even like he just sort of the way he did like puzzlement. Like even though he was more dumb and not nearly as nice as the dude. Yeah.
You think the dude is nice?
Yeah, the dude's nice.
He tries to get away without paying his rent. I guess he
on,
went to
man.
Manny's play. That's a pretty nice thing to do.
I don't
wouldn't have
think
gone to that.
the dude wouldn't headbutt anybody and steal his trailer. Come on.
Yeah,
Probably
the dude
not.
is the one who gets headbutted. That's right.
That's right. That's true.
And the only other thing I thought was worth mentioning from this interview, it's a pretty interesting read, but the other thing worth mentioning is that the Toro thing came from his 5-year-old daughter.
Oh, really?
Oh, no way.
So, yeah, she does that. And he was like, oh, that could be fun. Because he tried to make these guys like 40-year-old men that acted like they were 13 years old was his idea.
It was a really good touch. It made their relationship a lot sort of cuter, a lot
Yeah.
warmer. Just sort of like that they had this thing between them.
Yeah.
Look at that, guys. 20,
Yeah.
20 some odd minutes. That's a
Hey,
short one.
Short like the movie.
No
Yeah.
edits probably for you,
No
Denny.
edits.
Hardly.
That's great. That's
Yeah,
good
there
because
you go.
next week, guys, we're going to probably get into a 2, maybe even a 3-parter.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Next week, we're watching The Shining.
Oh.
Stanley Kubrick.
Here's Johnny.
Yeah, that's right.
1980
All
classic.
right.
A family heads to an isolated hotel for the winter where a sinister presence influences the father into violence, while his psychic son sees horrific forebodings from both past and future. Does that actually
That's
happen in
gonna
the
be
movie?
good. It's a good
Yes, it
movie.
does. Good movie. Me and
Yep.
John, we're going to read the book. TC, read the book.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Let's go. He said okay.
I gotta fucking.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah, that's it, guys.
Wow. Short episode, short movie.
Yeah.
There you
Good
go.
times.
see-
Yeah, bonus
Good way to
episode.
spend an hour.
That's true.
I'm telling you.
Hey, oh wait, top 250, guys.
Oh, shit.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I think
Totally
that,
worth
Roland,
watching.
but-
I would say
Yeah.
no, though. It's not going to like, it's
It's
not going to
hard
make
not
anybody
to see
make
other
a movie.
movies in this one. It's hard not to see other movies. Yeah.
And it's not going to like, influence a generation of people or something like
No.
that,
No.
Yeah, but it's an
But it
enjoyable
was
watch.
worth watching.
Oh, yeah, totally
if
worth
you're
watching.
up for it. If you're up for it. I
It should
don't
be
know.
if
I
you're up
can
for
see-
laughing. Come on. If you're an adult, if you're above the age of like 16 maybe and want to laugh, it's
Then
pretty much everyone.
See it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Well,
it.
All right, guys.
guess
Next
we'll
week.
be up for the next
Toro
one.
guys. Toro, goodbye.
Toro,
Toro,
goodbye.
goodbye.
Toro, bye, guys.
Yep.
Stop 'em.